might be single, you might be ready to mingle, but before you jump on the apps or go to some speed dating event, watch this. This is my single story. It's why my last date didn't work and what to do before you start dating again. What up, though? I am Jay the Gentleman. That's at JAI the Gentleman on IG. It's Wednesday, so this is a new episode of Dear Black Gay Men podcast. It's our short, bullshit-free step out of our comfort zone to talk about all the emotional ups and downs along the journey to happiness. Hopefully, this is our midweek reminder of how dope it is to be black gay men who love black gay men. I am Jay the Gentleman. This is Dear Black Gay Men podcast. Now let's get into the episode. Today, I'm going to tell you the story about a date that just didn't go right at all. But first, at Loves in the Air commented on Instagram saying, "Damn, bro, you really got me over here going through my connections, forgiving myself and contemplating ways to change my views." And at Naruto Fan Freak 45 commented on YouTube saying, "As a black gay man, I'm so happy to have come across this channel." And to that,
I say thank you.
Have you ever met somebody, they check all the right boxes, but still just don't seem to work out? The other day, I posted a reel to IG, and this comment stuck out to me. I was I was talking about how we fetishize each other in dating, and you have to watch the full reel on IG to get context. You can watch it at Dear Black Gay Men. The recording artist and friend to the podcast, at Jay Gordon Official, he commented, "If I'm not into hypermasculine men, why would I entertain one knowing that I wouldn't want to be touched by him? I've tried it, and in an attempt to not be shallow and open my dating pool, but I was just not interested." He and I went back and forth a couple times in the comments, but the whole conversation got me thinking about a date that I went on recently. Every week, we have conversations on the show about my dating life. But more and more people ask me how I came up with the idea. Brings us to this week's sponsor. This episode of Dear Black Gay Men podcast is sponsored by our weekly newsletter, Dear Black Gay Men Weekly. It's a quick conversation with me, what's going on in my life, how did I come up with the topic, and some insider tea about the podcast. As always, it's your favorite content creator's favorite content, and it's absolutely free to join. Just visit dearblackgaymen.com/weekly. That's dearblackgaymen.com/weekly. The link is in the description. Now, let's get back into the show. At Jay Gordon Official had a masculine man that didn't get his dick hard. Absolutely appropriate. That made me think about a date that I had that didn't work out. But let me back up, give you a little context. I was out at a pool party and I met this guy. He was cute, nice body. He seemed to have a great personality from the short exchange that we had at the pool party. And he had some good fucking teeth. He asked me out, which is interesting because when I'm out, people very rarely ask for my phone number. But he asked me out. We went on a date. And that's when I found out that he's got a good job, like a really, really good job. We had some cute banter about Drag Race. We talked about some gay shit. And then I got to look at those good fucking teeth. It's just something about a man with some good chompers. Like not veneers, but like good. Let me get off the topic. So on the surface, it looked like we should have vibed. He's gainfully employed. He had his shit going for himself. The right sexual position even. A younger, less mature Jay would see all these pros and be like, "Oh, he's the one." I would try to hook this good man because society, my mama, and all the girls in the DMs would be like, "That's bagos." But then 6 months in, I'd probably learn the hard way that this man wasn't for me. So just like Jay Gordon in the comments with his masculine man, he just did make my dick jump. Now, the less evolved among us would just go through this 6-month lesson with this man who ain't right for us, figure out they weren't right, and then get right back out there. probably mourn the loss of a relationship if you ever called it that. You'd probably go through your post-dating hoe phase. But eventually you just dust yourself off, move on. And to those people, I think we're missing the bigger lesson. The key to finding a man, not just a good man, but a man that is good for you, is all about honing your picker. Most of us probably think that the picker is this list of the must-haves in a man, our non-negotiables that keep us from settling for some bullshit. We all got them. Some of us are deep and we say shit like he needs to be spiritual and speak in tongues and go to church and love Jesus. Not to shit on that, but some of us go deep there. Some of us are more superficial. We might say things like he needs to be a top or a bottom or tall or short or light or dark, whatever. Whatever your non-negotiables are, they matter. If they're important to you and you have the right intention behind them, then they are important, regardless of how deep or superficial they may be. But honing your picker isn't just some list of qualifications. The single phase is all about being your best so your picker can do its best. Go with me. I was an insecure top for a long time. I thought my job was to give dick and dominate. If I could make him come and I could afford him, then I was successful. So the first sign of somebody who liked my dick game and they weren't too expensive for my whatever my income was, I thought he had to be the one. Again, air quotes around that. Until I could identify my insecurities and heal them, I attracted man after man after man that either co-signed on my insecurities over here or challenged my insecurities over there. But the true tea is that I wasn't my best. I was insecure, and my picker knew it. I had to take some time, do the hard work, do my single searching to realize that all these men that come in my life can't all be the problem. At some point, part of my situation, part of my dating failures had to be me. Eventually, I started singling better. Now, I tell people all the time, I have this podcast, Dear Black Gay Men Podcast. We go live on Thursdays, Dear Black Gay Men Live. I have a newsletter, all these things. And people assume that I must be some dating guru. I'm not a dating guru. That's Lamont White. I'm not a relationship guru. That's your therapist, a couples counselor. That's somebody else. I'm not even a man guru because I don't even understand half the shit y'all be doing. What I am is a single guru. I single like the best of them. I can say that for me because in my single season, which I am in now, I've dealt with my insecurities. I did the work to overcome my issues as best I can. I found my peace. And now, even though I look for the same qualities in men that I did back when I dated the guy from the pool party and when I was a lot younger, even though I look for the same stuff in men, my picker can see through the bullshit and help me make better decisions about who I date and who I allow into my life. I had to be my best so my picker can do its best. Now, I ain't perfect by any means. I still have my fucked up Virgo ways. Google it. But I'm doing the work to be the best version of me. Every day I'm trying to make strides at just being a better version of myself. But I think the bigger lesson is that some of the girls don't single well. We treat single as if it's just the gap between relationships. Like I was with some nigga yesterday, we broke up, so I ended up single. If we're really honest though, the quality of our relationships really depends on the quality of our single lives. If you're looking for a man to save you from single, you'll find it. If you're looking for a man to rescue you from yourself, you're gonna find that. If you're looking for a man to resolve your issues, you'll find it. But if you can't be with yourself without needing to be saved or rescued or resolved, what does that say about you, sis? The process of singling if you do it right, should help you find so much peace, so much joy, so much of your best life that if somebody comes into your life and they don't enhance that, you can see it, identify it, put a name on it, and then govern yourself accordingly. Singling should set you up so good that nothing can compromise your Black boy joy. But most of us don't really have joy. Most of us, I would argue, are happy. We have that tenuous, namby-pamby, put some cute clothes over it to cover up our bullshit kind of happiness. We have the come with me to the club or fuck my brains out to make me forget about my bullshit kind of happiness. We have the let me smoke a blunt so I ain't got to worry about my shit happiness. And that's what you, me, we are constantly running away from. We go looking for a man or men to fix the bullshit or at least help us forget about it for a while. But beloved, no man is going to fix you. At best, relationships, friendships, the connection you have to yourself is going to reflect back to you what you see in you. I read this book a while ago. Here it is. Single is your superpower. Catch feelings for yourself. It's a book, a workbook by Case Kenny. I read it a long time ago. He's a white guy. I'd assume he's straight. But he put together this workbook to help us figure out who we are at our best, most single selves. That way, when we find a relationship, when we find a connection, it's reflecting back to us the things that we want to see. I highly recommend this book. The Amazon link is in the description. When you go through the book, this is what I want you to do. I want you to come back to this episode of the podcast and let us know in the comments, what's the best part of your single journey? One thing that I have learned from doing this podcast is you never know how your life lessons could be the shit to set somebody else free. We only fuck up our relationships when we don't single well. The relationships, the entanglements, the dating situations, engagements, marriages that we entertain are the best identifier of who we actually are and what we actually want. Single is your time to hone your picker. Identify what in you needs fixing, then grow and evolve out of it into your best self. So, dear Black gay men, single is, in fact, your superpower. That was our show. Next time, I'm a cheater. I'll admit it. And in the next episode, I'll tell you the story. I am Jay the Gentleman. That's at JAI the Gentleman on IG. If this episode made you feel a little more dope, be sure to subscribe on YouTube, like the video, and share it with someone who needs a dopeness reminder. Dear Black Gay Men Podcast is new every Wednesday. You can stream it on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. And thank you in advance. We need more 5-star ratings. So drop by your favorite podcasting platform and give us a 5-star rating. It really helps us grow the podcast. We go live on YouTube Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern with our interview series, Dear Black Gay Men Live. So follow at Dear Black Gay Men on social so you never miss a thing. I am Jay the Gentleman. This has been Dear Black Gay Men Podcast, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.